yeah, it's like, do you ever like you feel like you know things before you know things or something like that kind of thing?
And I think that's
Like there's
this is what we've been trying to get people in connection with for thousands of years. In the
okay,
old days, it was done through yoga and meditation and ancient practices, and then life got busy and noisy and loud, and people got disconnected. And let's face it, we go to schools that only focus on developing the thinking, critical thinking, analytical mind, as
mm-hmm.
opposed to getting connected to what's behind all that.
Yeah,
uh, and
absolutely.
as things have gotten busier and more things have been put into our environment, we don't hear that sweet gentle voice like we had the potential when we're out in nature, or have been sitting in silence, or perhaps if we have a meditative practice we can get connected to it.
Yeah,
So and I think I love that what you shared, because that's we have to begin to realize that the genius, the mastery comes from within us. And if we have the courage to listen, hear, and heed, it's going to take us on an amazing journey, But most people would probably have like some of the thoughts you shared, and then have that conversation, which you might have, what the heck do you know about podcast or technology or anything? You can't do that,
yeah,
and then they don't follow through. And, you know,
that's true.
amazing
Um,
things can open up when we heed to the calling.
right, absolutely, I agree with that, and I appreciate you saying that. So my very first episode was actually, I believe in like a magic power that we have that is like, when you believe in yourself, it's like the very first step, you know what I mean? But if you would have told me that when I was a kid, I wouldn't have believed you. You know what I'm saying? And guitars what taught me that.
Mm.
So I'll start from the beginning. I had a theory about because I'm into ancient histories and uncovering lots of things. I don't know if you looked into the channel at all, but
I did.
cool. And I really do appreciate you being here. I think it's so cool. You're my very first guest, actually.
Awesome.
But the first episode was about believing in yourself, pretty much. And I was so nervous, and I still am now, nervous and distracted and all this stuff. But my message still came out. Like what I was still trying to get out still came out on its own. And that was kind of like, whoa. And it was like, I want to prove that this magic is real and everybody is capable of doing the same things. It's not quite like manifesting, but it's like your mindset, and when you're doing these healing with sounds, how does it affect your mind and your body in ways that we can benefit from it? I'm so
I'm going to give
nervous,
you.
and
I'm,
I got so much stuff going through my head that I wanted to talk to you about. I was like, oh my goodness.
no worries. I'm going to give you a great analogy, and I know you'll understand it.
I have a feeling
I always say we're kind of like guitars. We have facets of our lives. Those are the strings. We take action through those facets. That's the strumming and the plucking. And then, of course, we produce results. We express ourselves. That's our music. Now, I don't care how masterfully you play the guitar, the game of life. If your strings aren't in tune, are you going to make beautiful music? No. It doesn't matter how well you play.